workshops so that we are specifically inclusive and specifically open to movements within the women's movement who traditionally get sidelined or relegated to the sides.
Kina Mama wa Africa is a feminist leadership development organization that was set up in 1985 to strengthen women's leadership capacities in feminist leadership.
Our area of expertise, or our focal area around women's rights, is the issues around the intersections of sexuality and gender rights. And we see this as important because it's a particularly taboo topic in Global South. The call was hugely popular, quite overwhelming. Actually, we got over 139 applications by the close of the deadline. And we had about 31 participants who joined us from different movements, disability rights, women disability rights movements. We had people working within the different elements of service provision of gender-based violence. There's a huge thirst for interventions that, trainings that are seeking to strengthen the interventions that are existing currently.
A total of 341 women and girls who were killed in domestic brawls in 2015-2016.
I came in to facilitate a session on just introducing the basics of patriarchy, gender relations, and connecting it to violence against women. We need to go back to the basics of conscientizing, raising awareness, and really appreciating what is going on, and being able to connect the dots.
And I want to emphasize that it's not just here in Uganda. This is a global problem.
I think for me, really, the first session that we did was, I thought it was really a great foundational piece. Like conceptually, it was really good. The whole analysis of patriarchy, feminism, and intersectionality. So like bringing all those together and how the system actually works to oppress women. That was a great piece that really made me think deeper, because I'm a feminist, so I really identify as one. But being able to bring those different pillars and how they intersect. So like there's racism, there's sexism, there's classism, you know, all those isms, how they intersect and impact women differently. So we all women, and we might be oppressed, but we're not all oppressed in the same way.
Training is good. It's really good. The first day was really good. I learned a lot of issues of feminism, feminist, as a feminist. You know where I'm working, I work in the village, and it's the issues they were talking about were really a bit like the same like what I work for, the gender issues, and also about patriarchy, issues with power, male controlling, having power over women.
They need sessions like these, workshops like these, where they get opportunities to talk to each other, to discuss, and then they get this light bulb moment to say, aha, oh, that is what it is. We can't underestimate the value of such basic work. We still need a lot of it.
My session in this training today was the key objective was to help the participants deeply understand what violence against women and girls is, or gender-based violence, what its causes are, what the effects are, and of course also exploring how power and patriarchy really reinforces violence against women and girls in the community.
This is the first time kind of mainstream workshop, besides the workshops I've been attending that are related to women, persons with disabilities. We are still within our circles of the disability movement. So going to the mainstream movement, I felt privileged, first and foremost, that issues of women with disabilities can also be captured, because in as much as women without disabilities face sexual violence, they face domestic violence, they face GBV, ours are even more bigger in terms of the coverage of how far. Because first of all, you are discriminated as a woman. And then two, you are discriminated against as a woman with disability. Now, when it comes to marriage, community thinks that a woman with disability does not have a right to socialize, to have a friend, to have this intimate relationship.
So I think for me, like that, like this particular analysis, and then in my engagement, my role every day in Raising Voices is to support partners and other organizations to actually do violence prevention using a feminist lens. And so taking this forward, it is then really going to help me as I support partners and help them to think about their programming in their communities and how they engage women and men in talking about issues of violence against women. The whole concept of addressing the root cause, and that is power, should really be key and central.
So I feel like it has helped to debunk some of the myths and stereotypes around violence against women and girls.
The learning from this workshop has helped me to unlearn so many things from the way I used to look at things previously or before I attended the workshop.
I did a session on violence against women for almost a half day. That means that the organizers recognized the importance of the participants understanding these concepts and internalizing, because it's something that is personal. So you give people time to learn, unlearn, and relearn new things in quite a long time. Usually most would give it 1 hour, which would not be sufficient. But for me, I feel like it has been given the sufficient time that it deserves.
In the feminist movement, even itself, the women's movement, we took a very long time to convince donors that fund the organization that self-care and wellness is important. Because they were looking at it is about wasting money. But what is more valuable? Is it the person or the money?
Key priorities in strengthening the Uganda women's movement. One is we need to create more spaces for sharing and reflection, where we come together and just think through how we can do better as a movement. So we need more spaces for sharing and reflection. We also need spaces for feminist education. There are some in existence, but we could do a bit more. We could also actually apply technology better, use online trainings or even on WhatsApp, be able to deepen our feminism through education. Then we also need to document our stories. We do not document our processes, we do not document our successes, we don't celebrate them as well. So I think my parting word would be each individual activist to identify in which way and in what way they can play their part.
I would like to first and foremost take the opportunity to thank the organizers, the donors, and appreciate each and everybody that have contributed towards this event, because including women and girls with disabilities is one greatest step that I can imagine that was done in this workshop. After this workshop, I look forward to networking with the different organizations that have been part and parcel of this very noble training.
Moving forward, we are having discussions with AMWA how to sustain this particular training workshop, and are considering whether we want to do it twice a year for the next number of years, so that we are able to develop a strong movement.
Mama,